So to echo what we've heard this morning, we are really experiencing an extraordinarily challenging time for our nation and the world. The COVID public health emergency is of exceptional magnitude and requires us all to come together to find solutions. As Director of the Office of Orphan Products Development, I recognize that this is a very difficult time for people with rare diseases and their families. And I greatly appreciate this opportunity to provide perspectives from the Office of Orphan Products Development. Next slide, please. Developing a treatment for a rare disease can be challenging, and the current pandemic is adding more challenges. Teamwork, adaptability, and finding commonalities are key to supporting rare disease product development, similar to what you just heard from Dr. Austin. And we are seeing that this is so true during the current public health emergency. Next slide, please. Today, we are considering the impacts and lessons learned from the pandemic. FDA is involved in many aspects of the pandemic, and I will focus on perspectives from the Office of Orphan Products Development. As background, the Office of Orphan Products Development was established in 1982 to promote the development of products for rare diseases. OOPD is now tasked with administering some provisions of the Orphan Drug Act and other statutory provisions for rare disease and pediatric product development. Our vision is the availability of safe and effective products for patients who live with rare diseases. And we carry out this vision through our 3 core program areas, including designations, outreach, and grants. And today we're going to focus on our designation and grants program. Next slide, please. And first, we'll start with our designation program. Next slide, please. Prior to the pandemic, all submissions to the Office of Orphan Products Development were mailed to us, either on paper or CD. We quickly realized that we needed increased flexibility for document submission to the Office of Orphan Products Development during this public health emergency associated with COVID-19. Specifically, during this public health emergency, orphan drug designation, humanitarian use device designation, and rare pediatric disease designation requests and submissions may be submitted electronically by email to OOPD. Importantly, for submissions to OOPD, sponsors should receive an acknowledgement email within 2 business days. If you do not receive an acknowledgement email, please follow up with OOPD at orphan@fda.hhs.gov. Next slide, please. In addition to offering increased flexibility for document submission via email, the Orphan Drug Technology Modernization effort provides sponsors with the option to submit orphan drug designation requests through a portal. This is especially key during the current public health emergency, when the ease of electronic submission options is more important than ever before. The volume and complexity of orphan drug designation requests continues to increase. The Orphan Drug Technology Modernization effort focuses on moving from a paper-based process to a new cloud-based online submission portal. The new portal allows sponsors to submit orphan drug designation requests electronically, and I'm excited to say that the portal is now available for use. This effort is an example of FDA's commitment to broader efforts in overall technology modernization across the FDA. In addition to the cloud-based external submission portal, we have also implemented a new workflow management tool. These efforts will enhance collaboration, integration, and automation during the review and processing of requests. Next slide, please. We will now transition to our grants program, focusing on the Orphan Products Clinical Trial Grant Program and our Natural History Grant Program. Next slide, please. Our Orphan Products Grants Program has a budget of over $17 million and works to advance the development of orphan products that demonstrate promise for the diagnosis or treatment of rare diseases. The program includes 2 components, the Clinical Trial Grant Program and the Natural History Grant Program. First, the Clinical Trial Grant Program is funding approximately 75 ongoing studies. Generally, we award 6 to 12 new grants every year. The grants have led to over 70 product approvals and many publications, regulatory milestones, and impacts on rare disease product development. Second, the Natural History Grant Program is funding 8 grants. These natural history studies are important to supporting clinical trial development and collaborations. Next slide, please. In February 2020, we announced a new clinical trial grant funding opportunity. For this year, the receipt date was October 6, 2020. We received 45 applications in October, and they are currently under review. The goal is to fund well-controlled studies in support of a new indication or change in product labeling to address unmet needs in rare diseases or conditions. The request for application focuses on the use of efficiency and innovation to have the maximum impact. There's an added focus on leveraging patient input, infrastructure, and financial resources. In addition, applicants can include an optional innovative demonstration project. This project is intended to be used as a model for future drug development in rare diseases in one of the following areas. First, innovative collaborations. Second, innovative patient recruitment or retention strategies. And third, innovative methods for using data, simulation, and modeling. We are enthusiastic about this opportunity to fund studies intended to support rare disease product development. Next slide, please. Our grant program is a unique grant program. Since 1983, the Office of Orphan Products Development has reviewed more than 2,800 grant applications and provided more than $440 million for more than 750 rare disease studies. Our focus is on FDA regulatory expectations. Specifically, our project officers have robust backgrounds in regulatory considerations, including in review divisions, compliance, and generics. This is especially important now during the pandemic, when we need to work closely with our grantees and make sure they're also working closely with the relevant review divisions at FDA. Given the focus of our grant program, approximately 10% of funded studies have been used towards approvals. Next slide, please. COVID-19 has impacted clinical studies in the Orphan Products Grants Program. Preliminary data analysis conducted in December 2020 indicated that approximately 75% of funded grants in the program were affected. Examples of impact include issues related to travel restrictions and scheduling restrictions, study delays, including enrollment delays and suspensions, and delayed study site activation. Virtual capabilities and remote subject monitoring has needed to be added to several studies. In addition, protocol modifications have been required and budget alterations have been needed. This year, in addition to funding 6 new grants, FDA provided additional funding to existing grantees to help address the unexpected increased costs associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. These additional resources allow ongoing studies to implement necessary changes so their research can continue and to ensure the safety of study participants. Next slide, please. An important initiative within the Office of Orphan Products Development is the Orphan Grantees Unite initiative. This initiative provides a forum for grantees to share experiences, obstacles, and challenges to support common solutions in rare disease research. This initiative features periodic webinars with invited external and internal speakers. It is open to all current orphan product grantees. The initiative enhances knowledge sharing among grantees to raise awareness of common research and regulatory issues. The initiative was started before the pandemic, but it has been an important forum to address the impact of COVID-19 on orphan product grantees and to consider common challenges and solutions. Next slide, please. The specific goals of the Orphan Grantees Unite initiative include to allow orphan product grantees to connect with other principal investigators involved in OOPD-funded rare disease research, to advance grantees' research goals and lead to successful completion of clinical trials and natural history studies in rare diseases, and to ultimately further development of products for patients with rare diseases. The last 2 meetings have focused on the impact of COVID-19 on clinical studies. Sharing knowledge and identifying commonalities is especially important during the current public health emergency, when working together will help support rare disease product development now more than ever. Next slide, please. In conclusion, we are experiencing an extraordinarily challenging time for the rare disease community. Now more than ever, we see the importance of teamwork, adaptability, and finding commonalities to support rare disease product development during this challenging time. Thanks.